right. All right, thank you guys everyone for joining the live stream. This is a creative Q&A. We'll be doing these once a month now, and this is about only for creative questions. We have two big topics, one about loading screen that Zizi will be talking more about, and the details for permissions. So let's keep on topic, and we're just gonna get started. So welcome, Zizi, and go ahead and what kind of questions you would like to ask.
Sure, I guess I'll introduce myself. Hi, I'm Zizi. I'm the design lead on the new audience creator engagement team. So basically, my team is responsible for making sure that y'all are able to find players to see your stuff and vice versa. So the first thing that we're working on is customized loading screens, which will enable you as room creators to specify what the loading screen is when players load into your room. The idea is that by default, the loading screen will be whatever the cover image is for your room, whatever you decided is going to be the image for, like, shows up as the room icon. But we'll be able to, from the RecNet website, specify different image and add text down in the stone, the little purple bar at the bottom, as you like, if you want to prep your players with a little bit of details and stuff. Apple Juice Zero, you have a question?
Do you think it would be interesting if we had something along the lines of featured rooms on featured rooms?
What do you mean by that?
Because they advertise I believe it's the Instagram posts and how you can get featured on there. But there's nothing for featured rooms, and it seems like you could put featured rooms in there and get more traction to your rooms.
Oh, absolutely. So with the customized loading screens, you'll have the option to basically specify whatever photo taken in that room. So if you want to advertise other rooms you have, but otherwise the usual dorm room and the rec center will still advertise things like that we do. Like sometimes we cycle in a featured rooms backdrop and things like that. Yeah, were you looking for like individual featured rooms or just the montage we do with the list of all of them?
I guess just the montage.
Gotcha. Okay, I will note that and make sure that gets back into rotation if it hasn't been in. I think Ghost was next.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Alexa. So it's okay. I can.
Gotcha.
Okay, so in the event that we can have our own custom loading screens, can you make it so it's kind of just like on like a screen there instead of it being like stapled to your face, because it's going to be hard to see all like the stuff on the image? Because like, you know, you've probably seen it before, loading screens and stuff. Whenever things like, I've had it before with like ammo icons and stuff, all these little bars and everything around the sides. You can't see any of it because it's like, you can't look around to see it because it's always just out of your eye. So I think that would be a pretty useful addition. Maybe even something you can select yourself.
Gotcha. Currently the plan is the loading screens only apply to screens players. So
okay.
we currently there's some hinky stuff with different VR platforms putting loading screens on VR platforms kind of a headache right now. So once we headache that out, we'll be down the road.
All right. So we're gonna go to Alexa, and then we're gonna go to Vora afterwards, and Apple will come back to you.
So I also had a question about VR screens. I saw how good you putting on the screen mode, but I also wanted to see more things like what about coming updates? Maybe some share about, for example, when Circuit V2 was still not out and you were like sharing some information. Maybe you should put some like upcoming features with photos of the upcoming stuff.
Alright, interesting idea. Yeah, alright, interesting. I like that.
All right.
Noted.
Yeah. Okay. So Vora, go here. He's like right over there. He's gonna.
Wait, sorry, who?
Vora. Yeah.
Oh.
Vora.
Oh, come on.
Is there any chance that Quest players may get any loading screens in the future?
Quest players are the hinky ones that are causing the problems. So, so don't know.
All right. So let's go ahead and go to Apple. You know, Apple had a question.
Sorry, who?
Apple?
We will be able to customize these screens, right? Does that mean that, like, we can edit them to be, like, how we want? Because I'm picturing, like, I have a loading screen, and it has, like, maybe a mountain or something, and I can, like, customize, like, a character with, like, its own items and, like, stick it on there. Is that not?
So it'll be whatever you can capture in camera. For moderation purposes, this feature, like whatever the image is, will be basically from the room roll, the camera roll of that room. So you can stage
okay.
whatever, stage characters and stage text and whatever you want, and get a picture of it
So
specifically for the custom loading screen if you want.
If I wanted to, I could zoom in on my face and make that my loading screen.
Yes, you could.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
That's great. Swag, Call Me Xeon had a question.
Wait, there you are.
Is it me or him? One question about customization. Will the players be allowed to like change and or customize fonts of the loading screens, like of the words of the loading screens?
Only the standardized font will be available in the keystone,
Ah, okay.
like
alright.
in the bar below. Sorry.
No.
All right. Silent had a
Okay.
question, and Silent's right over there. Silent had a question.
Are we gonna be able to do like panoramic images, maybe like 360, where you can look around and have maybe just like a panoramic of like a certain area of your room that you want to show off as like kind of like a blurred backdrop?
Interesting idea. All right, I'll keep that in the backlog of possible ideas.
All right.
Improvements. Currently, it's just going to be the 16 by 9 static photo, but that's a good idea.
Okay.
Mortimer, I know he had a question over there.
All right.
Oh, right over there, right next to Silent.
Sorry.
I don't have a question. I'm
Oh.
not. What?
Okay, maybe it was Panite then. I think it was Panite then. Sorry, Panite.
Yeah, is it gonna be, could we like have the option for multiple photos, kind of like how the normal loading screens work, where it's kind of like a slideshow almost, or are we restricted to one photo?
For this first release, it'll be restricted to one photo. However, you will be able to specify different images for subrooms. So you can have a different image for each subroom.
Oh,
And
that's
text,
great.
I guess. A different customized loading screen for each subroom.
Ooh. All right, Victorious.
Your voice roll off is super low. I don't know how.
All right,
Victorious,
Victorious.
center front.
Okay, awesome. I remember about 2 years ago, we used to have, like, when we were loading into Rec Room, we used to have this 3D. So you used to have above Rec Room avatars kind of dancing with a little DJ booth and stuff like that. I was thinking of if we could customize that for VR players, so we can have our own kind of 3D image of that. They took it away about two a year ago now. I was just wondering if we could bring that back for custom rooms, because I know I would have some cool ideas for that.
All right, that would be super cool. All right, I will add that to
I would hope
my
so.
my VR loading screens wish list.
Awesome, thanks.
All right, Call Me Xeon.
Sorry, I had another question. Is it possible to upload like customized backgrounds for your loading screens?
No, for a request from the moderation team is that we do not introduce that chaos.
Okay, I know. I was expecting an answer like that because I've seen too much things, too many things.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
Luke Fox, and then we'll come back to Yost.
So I think some people are still talking about sometime is the old
loading screens with like what the updates is about. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people still miss what the new update is about because not everyone, you know, checking announcements or having Discord. You know what I mean? Because they're underage or something. But you know, it'd be always handy to know what's the update about by having, you know, like let there be light update. You know what I mean? Showcase
gotcha.
what's the new updates about. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, like update notes, build notes.
Yeah.
In a loading screen form. Yeah.
We had it before, but it got removed sadly. But a lot of people still enjoy the option to, you know, to always check your mobile or computer, what's a new update about. But you just, you know, you just load in and you see, oh, there's a new lighting. I should probably check that out or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cool.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go to Ghost. Or Goss, sorry.
Are there any bits of text that we have to have on screen, or can we just completely customize that?
Yeah. So, well, by default, so the loading screens have like the image in the background and a keystone down below, and the keystone by default will be empty. However, there's a little bar up on the right that has room name and creator name. So it will always have room name and creator name up in the corner.
Great. And on that note,
the keystone is yours to play with.
And on that note, can we get like things that shows like what it's actually loading at that point? Because I think a lot of people in this room will remember the line "sending client info." Really gets a lot of people excited because it's the final thing on the loading list. Loves it. Yeah, letting people know how close they are to loading is something that might get people more enthusiastic to keep loading and not leave before then.
Yeah. So some sort of loading progress or something is something we've thought about, and it's not going to be in this release, but it's definitely something that I want. So.
Right.
Brilliant.
All right, Yost, go for it. Sorry. Oh. Okay, I can't hear him.
Can't hear you.
Oh?
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Alright, sweet, we're good. Okay, so I've got a question about the minimum time in the loading screen. Because let's say we've got like a long block of text and we want to make sure they've read it all, or maybe like a button that they can press once they're like, okay, yeah, I've read this, I'm ready to go into the room. Will you have that sort of support there?
Not for this release. It is something we thought about of introducing kind of a check step for the loading screens. That might be a future thing, but we're gonna just see if the custom loading screens works at all as a concept first.
All right, sweet.
All right. Silent has a question.
All right. Are we gonna have this loading screen stuff in like subrooms where you'll be able to take pictures for each individual subroom, or is it just gonna be something? Okay. So, but is it gonna be the same, or are we gonna have it's like for each subroom its own separate pictures, and like maybe the
default,
subroom name?
Yeah. So if you don't specify a different loading screen for your subrooms, it'll be the same as the main room, but you can specify a different loading screen for each subroom.
Okay, could be cool. Also, are we gonna be able to like cycle through maybe keystones so we have like hints for like the next you have like levels like hit these guys and they'll do more damage or something.
Cycling to begin with will be entirely up to you. That'll be will be manual. So as often as you change the keystone is as often as that text in the keystone will change.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we're going to answer a couple more questions here, and then we're going to ask questions, answer questions from the live stream. So we're going to start with Vora, and we'll make our way down to Ziz and Victorious. So go ahead, Vora.
Going above about slides, couldn't you just take different pictures of the rooms you wanted and then make your own slides and use that as your picture of loading in?
Sorry, not sure I understand what the question is.
Well, somebody was talking about having different pictures, like you guys showcase about loading in normally to your dorm room. You have different rooms. Couldn't you just do that normally and taking a picture of different rooms and adding them into your own.
Yeah, so basically you can make the custom loading screen image anything you can fit in one camera. In
Right.
one camera shot. So stage that as you will.
Yeah. All right.
That will get past moderation, of course.
All right, go ahead and Sis and then Victorious. And then we'll answer questions from the live stream.
So my question is, since I like to do events a lot, can we have a loading screen that appears when a player is joining an event? For example, the keystone would say the event description, and then the title of the room would be replaced with the event name.
Yes, I believe one of my developers talked to me earlier today, and the plan is that events and clubs can also have their own custom loading screens, like just use the same functionality. Not quite sure what the RecNet website input for that is going to look like. It might be different. It might come later after the rooms are first done.
Yeah, to expand on that,
Mike?
I think for the initial release of custom load screens, clubs and maybe events will just show the custom load screen that was set for that room as if you were loading into the room just outside of a club or event. But we can definitely look into displaying like a custom event image on the load screen or something like that.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Nectorious?
Yeah, usually when when you get the loading bar up, usually I usually have one image, but it has different images, if that made sense. So it's like you've got like one half a different picture, then another half a different picture. Will we be able to do that? It will still stay the one picture, or will that be added
That
later
was
on?
something on my wish list that had to get for bandwidth reasons, but it's
Alright,
on
okay.
my wish list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Cool. All right. So we're going to be any questions that are coming from the live stream. Trunks, have you seen any questions from the live stream? If so, would you please come to the center of the stage?
Yeah, there's a couple, but it seems like they may have already been answered by some of our moderators in the live stream. But some of these may be good for the developers. Master X Chazere is asking if 360-degree loading screens is possible, but this had been answered by someone else saying that VR does not get loading screens, as each platform goes to a different thing. Steam, Oculus, and PSVR do different things between loading. So that question still stands, if that can change, and one question you may be able to answer is, will the limits for the loading screens, the text limits for the loading screens in the purple bar, what will they be? That was posed by Zachary Martinez.
Yeah, I can answer that one. The text is going to go on the purple bar that you mentioned called a keystone, and there will be two parts that you can customize. The title, which is at the top, will have a limit of, I can't remember the exact number, somewhere below 30 characters. And then the subtitle has a much longer limit. It's more of the length of like a tweet or something like that. So hopefully that answers that question.
Cool.
I believe we have plans for the interface to enforce the limit too, so you can't go over.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about accidentally going over, and the text that you put in will automatically be wrapped and formatted for you on the load screen.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Just continue asking questions on the live stream, and we'll try to get to them as fast as we can. We're going to continue answering questions here because we know that there are some people that would like to have their questions answered. We're going to start with Trick or Tonic right over on the left-hand side over here.
Oh, my game's lagging. Going off what someone said a while back, would we be able to have a loading bar in the bottom corner, but like have a button that you can click OK if you want to continue in the room or if you want to go back to your dorm room?
That's a concept that we want to be able to do with loading screens at some point in the future, but I don't know if we will.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Libo, we're gonna go with Libo. I know that he has a question, and then Panite. We'll make our way back there. Sorry, Panite.
You said earlier that we're gonna have like the room name, like creator name. Mentioning the creator name, are we gonna have more than one creator name, or like only the main creator, like co-owners? Are they gonna be there, or just like the creator?
I have designer brain on that one. Mike, is it
yeah.
gonna default to the main creator, or can they specify?
So initially, it'll just be the room owner, the main creator of the room. Yeah. Sorry, I know that's not ideal. So we can definitely add co-owners and stuff to the backlog.
Good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Co-owner credits matter.
Yep.
Yeah, are we still just primarily discussing loading screens? I'm sorry, before I ask this next question.
What was your question, Panite?
Still discussing loading screens, just loading screens and nothing else.
Yeah, we are just discussing.
What's your question?
No, I don't have any more questions about the loading screens.
All right. Did you have any questions about room details pages? Or permission details?
No, I did kind of have a question about like other creator sort of what your team probably does in the form of like the portfolios and the way creators like if I'm subscribed to somebody and I want to see kind of what they're working on, I still feel like the current solution to that is really it's not super pretty, and
It's awkward.
yeah. So like I was wondering, like, are you guys planning on doing like any like revisions to that? Like I know like one way I feel really connected to my creators on other platforms is like YouTube, where you have the subscription box, and you just go to that tab and see what the creators you are subscribed to. If they made any new videos, it pops up there. If they made any new news stories, you can see that there. It's all in one place. I was just wondering if you guys had any like other ideas for that.
Oh, so many. None of them are set in stone that we're going to be when we're going to be working on that kind of stuff yet, so I don't know which things we're going to be working on first. But yes, I agree that sort of like the portfolios are really cool, but the kind of how players get notifications and stuff could use a lot of improvement. And it is something on my wish list.
Yeah. All right. Zoom. Go ahead and Zoomy over there.
Sorry?
Zombie, like Zombie. Nice one. Zoomy. Messing me up.
So I came here a little late, so I don't know if this was said already, but with the little red screens, would we be able to add any form of animation to it to kind of spice it up a bit, or would it just be a still kind of section, if that makes sense?
Just a still image.
Yeah, okay.
All right. And I know Nectorious has another question over here.
A bit of a dull question, but what type of things will we be able to customize? Like, will there be different sections on, or would you like your loading screen to be like this, or this, or will it just be, have freehand how to make it?
Oh, it'll be far more boring than that. It'll be basically a one-for-one replacement of the loading screens we currently have.
Okay.
So you can replace the image with the image you want, and the keystone text with the keystone text you want.
Okay. Is it okay if I follow up with a question? If that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Another question. Yeah, how will VR players be able to edit things, or will it just be for screen modes? Because obviously we don't see loading screens.
Oh, it'll only be for screen modes, and the editing, all of the editing for the customized loading screens will be done on RecNet.
Oh, okay, awesome.
All right, we're going to
Thanks.
answer
That's
one
it.
more question over here. It's from the Spooked, and then we're going to move our way over to Apple and Alexa. Oh, we can't hear him. Sorry.
Oh, microphone not working.
There we go.
So for uploading the loading screen, would it be part of the like camera, or would it be part of the watch menu? Like, and if in the watch menu, where exactly?
Oh,
so the
it'll
way-
be if you. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Mike. Go for it.
So the way choosing an image will work is you go on RecNet and you choose any image from that room. So it would be something that you take with the share camera, or someone else has taken.
All right, thank you.
All right, Apple and then Alexa.
Are we going to see anything like personal loading screens? Like, let's say I'm loading into my dorm room or the rec center. Would I be able to set one, or does it have to be in a room that I own?
It has to be in a room that you own.
Okay. All right.
Is that the question?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool.
Now, I did want to go over how I know some Steam VR games that do have loading screens, and I do want in the future, when you do figure out how to get the same level, maybe having the ability to have kind of the animation. I know, like in Half-Life Alyx, when you load into a certain chapter in the map, it's actually glowing, and you'll be able to like press certain button to get into that chapter. When you do get to be able to do that in all platforms, I would really like to see something like that, like to see a thing, like 3D, like being able to like actually get 3D creations, like inventions into the loading.
Oh yeah, I think definitely something we'd want for VR loading screens is the ability for those loading screens to be three-dimensional, totally. But like as I said, there's some particularly hinky challenges with dealing with loading screens on every VR platform.
Great.
Yeah, it's a dream. You can dream it.
But like if it's not going to be 3D, why VR? Like why? So
yeah.
All right. Thank you, Alexa. We're gonna go and talk to
right.
Matt, Madam Mad, right next to Apple.
Yeah, I was just wondering, so with it being done via RecNet, you know, you've got to apply the changes. How quickly will that then change in-game? Will it be instant, or will it take a few minutes or so for it to change?
So the change would happen immediately. The way users would pick up the change is, like people who go to your room, is when they relaunch the game client, the loading.
Oop, cut out.
Okay.
I kind of got the gist of it, don't worry.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the change is pretty much instant.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We're gonna answer a question from Apple, and then we're gonna answer a few questions from the live stream, and then we'll come back to Victorious.
Wait, hold on, let me...
Get rid of the box. All right. Sorry, Apple.
Able
There we go.
to... No. Will we be able to use past pictures from RecNet, or do we have to take the picture like then and now to use it for the loading screen?
You will be able to use any picture that's ever been taken in that.
Yeah, you just have to scroll back through the history to find it.
All right. Okay. We're gonna answer a couple of questions from the live stream. Trunks, is there any questions that have popped up from the live stream?
That many players were asking is, even though we don't have them right now, what's the possibility of VR loading screens in the future? And that question was inevitably answered saying, well, there are many unique challenges for each individual platform for VR, so it's something that they hope can happen, but as of right now, cannot.
All right. Okay. Grabbed. All right. Victorious, do you have a question? Oh wait, we can't hear him.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, can you yeah, okay. Knowing that rec.net is a really slow platform, it's really you'll crash. Like, what will yous be like kind of testing? Like, okay, this is what we need to fix. Like, how long will it take to edit? Because you know you might save something and it doesn't save. Because I know that happens to me before. I tried to change my bio on rec.net, click OK, then it doesn't do anything. So I'm just hoping, will this be fully working? We know it will work when it comes to rec.net, because you know rec.net's really slow.
So the existing rec.net performance problems are still going to be there, but we'll do our best to make this usable for you.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome.
To the extent that we
Thanks.
can,
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Are there any other questions about loading screens? Oh, yep. We have a Trick or Tonic. Okay, we'll come back to you, Trunks, in just a moment.
Maybe someday in the future, kind of like when you go into your watch and then you go to this room. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting I'm on this. When you go to this room, general setup, and then you have like all those permissions, roles, and all that, maybe a tab can be for loading screens?
Yep, that's something we'd like to do eventually. Basically, the easiest way to get this feature rolled out to everyone was to do it on just RecNet first. So we'll see how successful that is. But definitely, yeah, putting it in the client in Rec Room somewhere in the watch is a future thing we want.
Great. All right, so Trunks actually has some questions from the live stream, so he will be asking some of those.
That has come up is about audio in the loading screen. Is it a possibility? And if so, is adding custom audio files similar to adding audio to a sampler audio, or otherwise to sorry, let me rephrase this. Is adding custom audio files similar to the sampler audio to the loading screens on the wish list?
It is not, unfortunately, because audio presents all kinds of moderation issues. We don't want to have to make all of our moderators listen to every audio file, so. Yeah, so that feature would have to wait until we can record audio within the game that is guaranteed to pass moderation.
All right, great. I know that Matt and Mad has a question, and then we'll go on to Gost.
So I was just pondering, for uploading images, etc. Obviously, you'll need to follow the code of conduct. Will there be any specific loading screen rules tied in with that as well?
Nope.
So just the code of conduct. Just
the code of conduct.
All right, thanks.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Like, see what people figure out ways to abuse the loading screens, and then we'll may have to come up with more rules for them. But as it is, just any photo that follows the code of conduct works.
All right.
All right, Apple, you have a question, and I know that Goss had a question. So Goss, we'll come to you next. So apologize.
You said that you can change the loading screen for any room that you own. Does that mean that as I'm starting up Rec Room to load into my clubhouse or my dorm room, I can have a custom loading screen? Or would I have to be in the game for that to show up?
Well, I am not sure the answer to that one. Yeah, unknown.
Yeah, unknown. It is interesting. We'll definitely put it down on our list for sure. That's a very good one. All right. I know Gus has a question.
One thing that would be very useful is to be able to preview the loading screens that we've made, so we won't have to keep coming through and going into game to see them before, like actually seeing them while editing them. And on the topic of sounds, maybe preset Rec Room music, like on the radio, on the loading screens, instead of having people import their own sounds.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'll add choose a Rec Room track to the loading screens as on the wish list, but yeah, current plans is that on the RecNet site, it'll show you a little preview of what the loading screen's going to look like when you build it.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Yes, and Ziz has a question.
Alright.
Is it okay if my question's about the room details page? Okay, and I got two quick ones. One of them's probably something a lot of people are going to ask, and that is, will we see room reviews, sort of like room comments, but they're public instead? And also, can we see a events tab on rooms for events in that room?
So, to the first thing, room reviews is something that I want to do. That is on the wish list for the ACE team to work on, but I don't know when we're going to be able to work on it. So the first iteration of the new room details page won't have that yet, because that feature hasn't been made yet. And your question was about featuring events. That is something we want to do for this iteration, and I don't know for sure yet if it'll be displayable on the room details page or not, but it's in the design doc.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have about 15 more minutes for the creative Q&A. So anybody who's in the live stream that has any questions about room load screens or the permission details pages, please start noting those now, and Joe will keep a good lookout for that, and some of our moderators will be writing those down. So another thing is we're going to continue answering questions here. So Pan Knight. Oh, I guess Trunks does have some. Okay, we'll get to those.
Yeah. Are we gonna see any updates to the club stuff, like clubhouses, clubs, anything to do with clubs? I kind of feel like I'm still not reaching an audience with them. I feel like I don't feel like a lot of people really check, you know, anything to do with like the club pictures that I've seen. And it's also kind of hard for me to even see that information because we don't really know who's seeing our announcements. There's like no statistics of who's actually viewing our announcements or whatever. And lastly, I think it's kind of a mistake that you can set your clubhouse rooms as like your spawn-in location. It's like if I'm booting into the game, I don't want to set my clubhouse to something that's like really like that takes a few more minutes to load in, because that's just extra time of me like loading into the game, right? So what I would think would be a lot cooler is if it would replace the rec center button instead of like you always spawn in your dorm room, and then if you want to go to your clubhouse room, it would replace the rec center button, and you could just choose to go there whenever.
That's a good idea. I like that idea. So don't have any direct plans to be messing with clubs in the immediate future, but what we are planning on doing and have a lot of ideas for are building features that are going to apply to clubs and rooms and events, so that they will do a better job of cross-pollinating and communicating to players and like giving players more incentive to go to clubs, because it makes me a little sad too when I go walk into empty clubhouses. They should be full and beautiful, filled with people.
Yeah. All right. I know Yost has a question over here, and then we'll talk to Bello right next to him. So.
Okay. So this isn't really directly related to everything except the loading screens. I'm currently like reading off the Discord at the moment, and a lot of people are saying that you guys are slowly making this game that supports VR instead of a VR game. Can you comment on that?
I mean, I think Rec Room is always at its core going to be a VR game. we're trying to be radically cross-platform as well, so that not only people who own VR headsets can play, but there's still a big play gap between VR players and everybody else that is immediately apparent when you get to play VR. It's fantastic.
Yes. All right, great.
Thank you for that.
So, my question is more about moderation. Like, so if you're like joining a room and the loading screen was something you do not want to see and is against code of conduct, how would you report that to
You'd
moderators?
report the room.
Ah.
Yeah. Report the room from the room details page.
All right, thank you.
All right. And then Nectorious had a question. Nope. You're good? Okay. Apple has another question over here.
With the room details page, are we going to see the ability to have more room photos than just one?
Yes. Easy answer. Yes.
That's great. Okay. Blazier had a question.
Okay, so I think this is in this topic for this event, but for custom GUIs, like custom watch menus for certain things, like certain parts in a room, if you wanted something to like pop up that's more only for you, and it's like a watch and it says press this button to buy something or press this button to do something like that, would that ever be in the future? Is that in the plans?
That would be awesome. I have not written up a design doc or anything like that for creators to be able to build their own UI, but it is something that would be super cool that we want.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. Jeff has a question.
Is it okay if I, before I ask my question, if I point you to Trunks because he's been trying to get your attention?
Oh, right. Oh. Yes, Trunks, please come forth. Sorry about that, Trunks.
We have one question coming from YouTube, from FimUt0, asking, in the loading screen, could you pay for a room or club advertisement? I would think Rec Room Plus would be a great vehicle for this type of thing if we wanted to, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, yeah.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, I'll pass that on to B-Boss. All right.
So.
Yep, go for it, Jeff.
Oh, okay. Is there any plan, for the room details page revamp, is that planning on touching any of the setup and saving and restoring options and things like that?
Yes. So part of that is we're going to be dividing out the room details page. There'll be a version that players who do not own the room see, and a version that room owners see, because we don't want to have players seeing a bunch of dead buttons that they can't interact with, right? So yes, both sides of that will be getting a revamp.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Will subrooms and rooms be more defined in the new UI? Because right now it's very blurry what is a subroom and what is a room.
Gotcha. What would you like to see specifically? Like, do you have any ideas of what you'd like to see about that?
I guess, like, for a small thing, like, one thing that I can think of right off the bat is that the save and restore button is under room details, but that only applies to that subroom that you're in. It's just, there's things like that, and I commonly see people, like, that just don't know how to use subrooms, and they don't really try to because it's scary. There's not enough separation between what is a subroom and what is a room in the UI.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, excellent. I have noted make the save and restore, etc. much clearer whether you're in what rooms it applies to.
Yeah, we are definitely looking at ways to make subrooms more usable in the future, Jeff. So thank you for noting that. Crowd. Yeah. So Libo has a question, and then we're going to move on to Silent, and then we're going to be asking questions from the live stream. So anybody on the live stream, please let me know if you have any questions. Let Trunks know you have any questions. Let some of the moderators know that you have any questions, and then we'll move on to Call Me Zombie. So
I'm going after Jeff's question. Are we gonna have ratings for a room? Let's say like as soon as you finish like going around the room, like you browsed it, you looked at it, you played it, or whatever the type of room is, you can like rate it with stars, something similar to that.
I want that so bad.
Yeah, and maybe even after like finishing, like leaving the room, we'd see like a loading screen that says how much like you rate this room.
100%.
And the
that is
top
something
rated
I
rooms
want.
would be instead of the current top rooms, like top rated rooms would be up and be up, the less rated rooms be down.
Yeah, so my current thought on that is that like the idea of ratings, or reviews would be combined with ratings. So people could like rate something with like maybe a star, we don't know what we're going to call it yet, but some sort of rating, and then they can also leave a review, and the best reviews will show up on the room details page. Eventually. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Thank you.
all right, Silent, and then we'll be looking at questions from the live stream.
Okay, so I think for loading screens, I might like some additional logic. Say if a player is loading into a room for the first time, they might be able to see something different. Or having certain groups of players get tailored kind of loading screens that we can customize for them. Give them like special feels, maybe tournament winners or Patreon supporters or something like that get a special loading screen or something. So those are just feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, those are good ideas. See what we can do.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mortimer, for that. Trunks, do you have any questions that have come up from the moderators or the live stream that is in progress right now?
As of yet, but I'm keeping my eyes peeled.
All right. Okay. Okay, so Call Me Zombie is awaiting his question.
Okay, so this is about the room details. When you go into your, when you go into your watch, you go to this room, and then on the bottom left, you should see like, see owners, see inventors. I don't know if this question's already asked in the past, or it's already been asked. Like, yeah, I can't remember. I have short-term memory. Please don't judge. Like, should there be a moderator list? Let's say I basically gave 5 people moderator, and if none of the co-owners are online, or the owner isn't online, they can go to the moderators instead, because they can actually, contact them through the moderation list. So I think that should be a good idea, instead of going to the room, seeing who the moderators are, and then contacting them. I think it's a more faster way to. Thank you for answering the question.
Yeah, sure.
All right, guys, I'm under some weird stuff right now, so I'm having some technical issues. I'm going to leave this one to Trunks. Trunks, can you hear me? Okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I do have a couple questions from the stream that just came up. Steel Gaming was asking, can we get a time loading screen so we could, for example, you could click to go to a page or a paintball in 20 seconds so you can actually still move in an actual game. I think what they're getting at is they're asking about user interaction, some type of UI between scenes during the loading screens. Is this a possibility?
That would be super cool, but definitely not for this feature. That would be very complex.
Next one was a more simple request, was can you guys make the VR loading screens a bit more colorful rather than just the plain spinning logo?
Noted. I will ask.
Okay. All right. We're very close to being done right now. We only have about 2 more minutes, and apologies, I can't actually view or see anything at the moment because I'm having some technical errors, so I apologize. But thank you guys for all joining the live stream. And Zizzy, thank you for participating in this event and answering so many questions. Awesome, very, very awesome. And thank you guys again. If you guys want to participate in these live or the Creative Q&A events in the future, please join the Creative Clubhouse and you will get the announcements there. The Creative Clubhouse is invited to the Creative Q&As. That said, thank you guys for joining, and I hope you guys all have a good one. Did you guys have any other last questions?
Creative, I give it your rec room back.
No last questions. That's great.
Shush.
All right, awesome.